Brian Windhorst, national NBA reporter, talking about the Cavs' recent turnaround. This again from 5 Good Minutes with Windy.
They've gone from being a bottom 7 or 8 offense to being a top 10 offense. When you look at this last 15 or so games, they've been top 5 or 6. And so they are much better equipped to compete with a team like the Bucks now than they were 3-4 weeks ago. The big thing to me is when you look at how it happened, they spread the floor, they take a lot of threes, they really share the ball. It's really remarkable to watch how they really look for each other, and they're really focusing on moving away from the ball. You can tell that they've sort of, understood and sort of bred into their thinking that they'll get the ball if they work hard away from it. And that's not something that they were doing regularly over the last year. They had a lot of success using their guards as the initiators, but this team has really learned how to play this way. And I think one of the big reasons is because they've had a consistent lineup for the last month. It hasn't been with the best players they've had on the roster, but they have put out generally the same 7 or 8 guys, and they've had a game plan, they've followed it, and that has enabled them to really unlock a lot of things.
So, Sam, the question becomes, how do you keep the floor spread and incorporate Darius Garland? That's easy to do, but that's not really Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a guy that is an inside presence, and who do you think loses minutes? You got to find a way to. About 60 minutes of playing time that are probably going away from guys that have had it the last 10, 15 games.
Yeah, that's, look, it's the question of the season. And the first sign of trouble, I can tell you, social media will blow up. But I think it's going to be, the nice thing is, it doesn't sound like Garland and Mobley are going to come back the exact same game, So you're going to have some time to integrate Garland, who's supposed to be back from his jaw injury first, and then Mobley a little bit after that. So you'll have some time to integrate these guys again slowly. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's not like they're new to the team or the franchise or any of that. These are guys who have done this before. They played together in the playoffs last season. So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of a rotation tweak. And I don't want to predict who might lose minutes, but, you think and figure that usually the rotation's eight guys, maybe not a ninth guy gets, 10 minutes or so. But it's, as you get geared up for the playoffs, you're really whittled down to 7, 8 guys. Obviously, it's really going to depend on, the Cavs are a heavy analytics team, as most NBA teams are. It's really going to depend on what the analytics and data shows, who should be out there and all that. But obviously, you're going to have your starting 5 who you're going to have Karis LeVert, you're going to have Isaac Okoro. I'm assuming you're going to have Dean Wade. So that leaves, Sam Merrill and Tristan Thompson probably on the outside looking in a little bit.
Yeah, and Merrill is a guy that, I believe he's over 50% from three-point range, and that's kind of tied to the success they've had. So there's how do you swing that?
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to keep him in the rotation again, even when he's not shooting. Just his presence is creating a lot of opportunities for everybody else. So I'm sure that's something that, if we see it, the Cavaliers certainly see it. So I'm sure that's going to be something to consider, is that Merrill remains in the rotation when everybody's healthy.